to thank Linda Turner and St. Luke's Methodist Church for the use of their facilities. So thank you very, very much. Before we get started, just a couple practical things. One is, if you could please silence your cell phones so as not to disturb anyone during the performance, that would be great. And there will be a 10-minute intermission in the middle of the play. A little bit about The Horse and His Boy. The original Horse and His Boy story was written by C.S. Lewis in around 1954 as part of his Chronicles of Narnia series. And in this book, he wanted to convey to the readers a sense of not belonging and a longing for a better place. And he did that. He portrayed that through his characters as they travel from the place they were born into the land where they truly belonged. And Lewis used that as a picture of, in our own lives, how we are born on the earth, but we sojourn to our true home in heaven. And Lewis liked to say we were made for something greater. And so you can see those themes woven in the play tonight. And so this production was the result of lots and lots of hard work from the entire cast and crew, and also of many, many answered prayers. And so we praise the Lord that it came together, and we are so excited to see you all here tonight.
A couple of other practical things. Restrooms. They're down the hall and to the left. You passed them on your way in if you need them. And cameras are okay. I asked the kids, they said, that won't bother us. So feel free to snap some shots while they're on the stage if you like. A performance is not a great performance without a great audience, and we really appreciate you being here. It's very good to have a good audience, and thank you for being here. Now, because the story involves a journey of many miles, I wanted to do, and because I'm a homeschool teacher, I thought I'd do a little geography lesson before we get started. The play involves 3 kingdoms. There's the southern kingdom of Calormen. The main city in Calormen that you'll hear about is Tashbaan. This is where the Tisroc and his son Rabadash live. They are separated by a large desert from 2 northern kingdoms. The 2 northern kingdoms are first Archenland, and you can refer to the back of the program where your map is if you like. The Archenland, and the capital city of Archenland is Anvard in the mountains. The ruler at Anvard is King Lune, and you will see him in a little while, and his son Corin, Prince Corin. They are, Archenland is very close friends and allies with a kingdom that lies even further north called Narnia. The capital city of Narnia is Caer Paravel, and the rulers there are King Edmund, Queen Susan, Queen Lucy, and the High King Peter, who does not appear in this story. Aslan is the champion of Narnia, a lion that is looked on with awe and reverence by all the Narnians. This is a story of these 3 kingdoms and a plot in Calormen to overthrow the 2 northern kingdoms. Superimposed over this is the story of 4 individuals, 2 of whom are horses, Bree and Hwin, and 2 are humans, Shasta and Erebus. They're making their escape from a life of slavery in Calormen to a life of freedom in the north. These 2 stories will intertwine as the 4 individuals have a part in warning the king of Archenland of an approaching danger. They face things in themselves and in each other and outward danger as they make their journey. So join us by using your imagination as they cross rivers and deserts, fight battles, meet dwarfs and kings, and the horse and his boy.
This is the story of an adventure that happened in Narnia and Calormen and the land between in the Golden Age, when Peter was High King in Narnia and his brother and sisters were king and queens under him. In those days, far south in Calorman, by a little creek by the sea, there lived a poor fisherman named Arshish. And with him lived a boy who called him father. On most days, Arshish went out to fish in the morning, and in the afternoon he harnessed his donkey to the cart and loaded his fish on the cart and went a mile or so southward to the village to sell. If he had sold well, he would come home in a moderately good temper and say nothing to Shasta. But if he had sold badly...
What do you take me for?
What's wrong?
I work all day and come home to this? It's a pigsty.
I was mending and washing the nets like you told me.
All day, and where's my supper?
I'm making it now.
When I come through the door, I want my meal ready, or you're no good.
I do my best.
Come here.
No, really, I do my best. Ouch!
Whoa! You, fisherman!
Yes, master?
I have traveled far. I need hospitality for the night.
Yes, of course. We are unworthy to have such a...
Quiet!
Yes, my lord.
Go on, let's get some supper.
Shasta prepared the best they had and set it before the Tarkhan for supper. And as always happened when the fisherman had company, Shasta was given a hunk of bread and turned out of the cottage. On these occasions, he usually slept with the donkey in its little stable. But it was much too early to go to sleep yet, and Shasta, who had never learned that it was wrong to listen behind doors, sat down with his ear to a crack in the wooden cottage to hear what the grown-ups were saying.
Are you pleased with the meal, my lord?
It will suffice. Though, I do have a mind to buy that boy of yours.
Oh, my master, what price could induce your servant to sell into slavery his only child and his own flesh? Has not one of the poets said, a natural affection is stronger than soup, an offspring more precious than carbuncle?
But another one of the poets has said, he who attempts to deceive the judicious is only bearing his own back for the scourge. Do not load your mouth with ancient falsehoods, for your cheek is as dark as mine, but his is as fair as the accursed, but beautiful barbarians who inhabit the remote north.
Well, well, you have said, my most inflammable guest. Because of extreme poverty, I have never married, and thus had no child. But one night, I went down to the water, and the tide brought to the land a little boat with a man of extreme hunger and thirst that had just died.
How could you have known this?
The man was still warm, but there was a child still living. Unfortunate who have escaped from a great ship, I surmise, and the elder has starved himself, and sadly perished on the side of land. Being moved with compassion, for your servant is a man of tender-hearted.
Leave out all these words in your own place. It is enough to see that you took the boy and had 10 times the worth of his daily bread, as anyone can see. But now, tell me, what price you put on him, for I am weary with your talk.
You yourself have wisely said that the boy's labor is at an estimate value. This shall be taken into account in fixing the price. If I sell the boy, I must undoubtedly have to hire or buy another to do his work.
I will give you 15 crescents.
15! 15! For the prop of my old age and the light of my eyes. Oh, come, do not mock my gray beard, talk on though you be. My price is 70.
70? Ha! I need only travel to your village to find an equal servant for half that.
My lord is welcome to try. Oh, come, we are reasonable men of business.
Then be reasonable, or I shall lose my temper.
Have another drink, my lord.
You must not imagine that Shasta felt at all like you or I would feel if we had just overheard our parents talking about selling us as slaves. For one thing, his life was already little better than slavery. For all he knew, the lordly stranger on the great horse might be kinder to him than Arshish. For another thing, he'd often been uneasy because, try as he might, he had never been able to love the fisherman, and he knew that a boy ought to love his father. And now he found that he was no relation at all to Arshish. Not far away, the stranger's horse was quietly grazing.
There you are, old fellow. You go on with your meal. Our masters will be haggling for ages. I need a moment to think. It's remarkable. I'm not the son of Arshish, and for that, I feel a strange relief. But then, who am I? I mean, I might be anyone. I might be the son of a Tarkhan, or of the Tidrock, may he live forever, or even of a god. I wonder what sort of man your master is. Maybe he'd take me to wars, and I'd save his life in battle, and he'd set me free and adopt me as his son, and give me a palace and a chariot and a suit of armor. Or he might send me to work in fields, in chains. Oh, I wish I knew. How can I know? I bet you know. If only you could tell me. Yes, I wish you could talk.
But I can.
What?
I said but I can.
However did you learn to talk?
Shh, not so loud. Where I come from, nearly all animals talk.
Where do you come from?
Narnia.
Where?
The happy land of Narnia. Narnia of the thymy downs and heathery mountains. Narnia of the many streams and the forests ringing with the hammering of the dwarves. An hour's life there is better than 1,000 in Colorman.
How did you get here?
Stolen. Or captured. Or kidnapped. Whichever you might like to call it. I was only a foal at the time. My mother warned me not to range the southern slopes of Arkenland, but would I heed her? No! And by the lion's mane, I have paid for my folly. Years of servitude to the Colormans, hiding my true nature and pretending to be dumb and witless like their horses.
Why didn't you tell them who you really were?
Not such a fool, that's why. The moment they found out who I really was, all hope of escape would have been lost.
Why?
Now look, we mustn't waste time on idle questions. You want to know about my master, the Tarkhan? Well, he's very bad. Not too bad to me, of course, for a war horse costs too much to be treated too badly. But you'd better be found dead tonight than be a slave in his house tomorrow.
What am I to do? I'd better run away.
Yes, you better. But why not run away with me?
Are you running away too?
If you'll come with me. You see, this is the chance for both of us. I can't get very far on my own. Without a rider on my back, someone will think I'm a stray horse and be after me in a moment. But with a rider on my back, I have a chance to get through. That's where you can help me. On the other hand, you can't get very far on those two ridiculous legs of yours. But on me, you can outdistance any other horse in the country. That's where I can help you. Assuming you know how to ride this.
Yes, of course. I mean, I've ridden the donkey.
The what? In other words, you don't know how to ride. Well, that's a drawback. We'll have to teach you as we go along.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure we'll make a fine rider of you in no time. But we mustn't start until those two are asleep in the hut. Meantime, we can make our plans. My Tarkhan is on his way north to the palace of the Tisroc.
May he live forever.
What?
You meant to say may he live forever.
I'm a free Narnian. Why should I have to talk slave and fool's talk? I don't want him to live forever. And I can see that he's not going to live forever, whether I want him to or not. So there will be no more of that sort of jargon between you and I. As I was saying, my master is on his way north.
Does that mean we'd better go south?
I should think not. You see, he believed me to be dumb and witless, like his other horses. If I truly were, the moment I was loose, I would go back to my stable, which is 2 days' journey south. That's where he'll look for me. He'd never dream of my going north on my own, and he'll probably think somebody from the last village has seen me and stolen me.
Then we'll go north?
Precisely.
Yes, I've been longing to go down north all my life.
I'm sure you have. You're surely true northern stock. It's in your blood. The silence in the hut makes me believe they're asleep.
All right.
Then off we go.
But wait, what shall I call you? I don't know your name. Oh, I'll never be able to say that. Can I just call you Bree?
Well, if that's the best you can do, then you must. And what am I supposed to call you?
I'm called Shasta.
Now that's a name that's really hard to pronounce. Are you ready then? Shasta?
Yes, Bree.
Then to Narnia and the north.
Narnia and the north.
Good morning, small one.
What? Oh, Bree. Oh, I'm so sore all over.
I was afraid of that. Riding does come hard at first, and we were going at quite a pace all night. Still, you'd better get up. I assume you'll want breakfast. I've had mine already.
Oh, bother breakfast. Bother everything. I tell you, I can't move.
Oh, come along, Shasta. All right. I think I'll have a good roll before we get started.
Horses look so funny when they're on their backs.
We look nothing of the sort. Does it really look that funny?
Yes, it does.
You see,
What does it matter?
that's just the thing. What if talking horses in Narnia don't roll? Supposing they don't, and it's just a bad trick I picked up from the dumb and witless horses. I can't bear to give it up.
I don't think I would bother with that if I were you. We've got to get there first. You do know the way.
Well, I know my way as far as Touch Barn. After that comes the desert.
The desert?
Yes. We'll manage the desert somehow. And speaking of which, how about starting?
All right. Oh, my legs ache terrible.
Thus began a new season in Shasta's life. These were great days for Shasta, and every day better than the last, as his muscles hardened and he fell less often. Bree was a patient teacher. No one can teach riding so well as a horse. Shasta learned to trot, to canter, to jump, and to keep his seat even when Bree pulled up suddenly or swung to the left unexpectedly, which, as Bree told him, was a thing you might have to do at any moment in a battle. After they had traveled on for weeks and weeks, past more bays and rivers and villages than Shasta could remember, there came a moonlit night when they started their journey at evening, having slept during the day. They had jogged along for about an hour when Bree suddenly stopped.
What's that?
Shh. Do you hear something?
Yes, it sounds like another horse between us and the woods.
It is another horse, and that's what I don't like.
Isn't it probably just a farmer riding home late?
That's no farmer's horse. No farmer's riding either. That's class, that horse is. Fine blood mare, I should say. Being ridden by a real horseman.
Well, it stopped whatever it is.
Ah, and why should he stop the moment we do? Shasta, my boy, I do believe we are being followed at long last.
What shall we do?
There's a cloud coming up. I'll wait till that's over the moon, and then we can drop down and hide among the sand dunes.
We must be nearly to the sand dunes by now.
Roar!
What's that?
Lions! Lions! There's a stream up near the wood. We should... the water may throw the brute off our scent. We can walk for a bit now. Shasta, I'm ashamed of myself. Really, I am. I don't feel like a talking horse. I was as frightened as a dumb and witless horse. I really was. I don't mind lances and spears and arrows, but I can't handle those creatures. I've met lions before. I think I'll trot for a bit.
Roar! 1 minute it sounds like it's on one side of us, and the next it sounds like it's on the other.
Roar! Two of them!
Wait, I say that other horse is yowling just to stop and go away.
All the better! The Tarkhan may have a sword to protect us!
But Bree, we might as well be killed by lions as caught. Well, I might. They'd hang me for horse thieving.
I'll move away then!
Bree shied away to his right. Oddly enough, the other horse shied away to their left, so that in a few seconds, the space between them had widened a great deal. But as soon as it did so, there came another roar, so that the horses drew nearer together again. The roaring of the brutes on each side was horribly close, and they seemed to be keeping up with the galloping horses quite easily. Then the cloud rolled away, and the moonlight, astonishingly bright, showed up everything, almost as if it were broad day. Shasta saw that the other rider was a very small, slender person, mail-clad and riding magnificently. He had no beard. The two horses and riders galloped neck to neck and knee to knee, just as if they were in a race. Suddenly, something flat and shiny spread out before them. It was the water at last. The water was refreshingly cool, and the horses swam until they reached the other side of the river.
Oh, I see it, Bree. A lion on the water's edge.
Only one?
We must have shaken off the other. It's turning around now. Oh, good, it left.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Hold your tongue and don't be a fool.
Bree, I must be dreaming. I could have sworn that other horse spoke.
So it did. Steady there. I heard you, I did. You're a talking Narnian horse just like I am.
What's it got to do with you if she is?
Why, you're only a girl.
And what business is it of yours if I am only a girl? You're probably only a boy, a common little boy, a slave probably, stolen his master's horse.
That's all you know.
Be quiet, Shasta. He's not a thief, Tarkina. At least if there's been any stealing, you might as well say I stole him. And as to it not being my business, you wouldn't expect me to pass a lady of my own race without even speaking to her. It's only natural that I should.
I think it's very natural too.
I wish you'd hold your tongue, Win. Look at the trouble you've gotten us into.
I don't know about trouble, but you can clear off just as soon as you like. We shan't keep you.
No, you shan't.
Be quiet, Shasta. Quarrelsome creatures, these humans. As bad as mules, really. We horses must make sense of things, ma'am. I take it your story is the same as mine. Captured in early youth, years of slavery among the Colomans.
Too true.
And now, perhaps, escape.
Tell him to mind his own business, Win.
No, I won't, Your Highness. This is my escape as much as yours, and I'm sure a great war horse like this isn't going to betray us. We're trying to escape to get to Narnia.
And so, of course, are we. A young boy in rags riding, or rather, trying to ride in the dead of night, couldn't mean anything different. And if you don't mind my saying so, a high-born Tarkina, dressed in her brother's armor, riding in the dead of night, and very anxious for everyone to mind their own business. If that's not fishy, call me a cob.
All right, then, you've guessed it. Win and I are running away. We're trying to get to Narnia. Now, what about it?
Splendid! Then what is to prevent us from all going together?
I don't know that there's much point in us all going together. Aren't we more likely to be noticed?
Less likely, actually.
Oh, do let's. I should feel much more comfortable. We're not even certain of the way. And I'm sure a great charger like this knows far more than we do.
But what about this boy? How do I know he's not a spy?
Why didn't you say it once? You think I'm not good enough for you. That's it, isn't it?
Oh, be quiet. I'll vouch for the boy. He's no spy, Tarkina. He's been a good friend to me these many weeks we've traveled together.
Oh, all right, then. Let's go together.
Splendid! And now that we've got the water between us and those dreadful lions, how about we all have a rest? And now, Tarkina, you have heard our story, and now what about us hearing yours? Who are you, and why are you running away?
My name is Erebus Tarkina, and I am the only daughter of Kidrat Tarkan, who is descended in a straight line from the great god Kash. My father is the lord of the province of Calabar and has won the right of standing on his feet and his shoes before the Tizrock. May he live forever.
We don't have to say that anymore. May you live forever.
Be quiet, Shasta. Continue, Tarkina.
My mother, on whom be the peace of the gods, is dead, and my father has married another woman.
Now it came to pass that my stepmother hated me and persuaded my father to promise me in marriage to a Hoshta Tarkan. Now this Hoshta is a base bird and is at least 60 years old and has a hump on his back, and his face resembles that of an old ape. Nevertheless, through flattery and evil counsel, he has won the favor of the Tisraq, may he live forever, and may one day be chosen as the Grand Vizier. For all these reasons, my father agreed with my stepmother and sent word to a Hoshta that we could wed this very year at the time of high summer.
I don't understand. You're not grown up. I don't believe you're any older than I am. How could you be getting married at your age?
Don't display your ignorance, Shasta. Tarkinas are always married off at this age. Please continue.
When this news was brought to me, I lay on my bed and wept for a day. On the second day, I arose and caused my mare Wind to be saddled. I took with me a sharp dagger and rode alone to a green open place, where I dismounted from Wind my mare and took out the dagger. I then shut my eyes and my teeth and prepared to drive it into my heart. But before I had done so, this mare spoke to me with one of the voices of the daughters of men, and said, "Oh, my mistress, do not by any means destroy yourself, for if you live, you may yet have good fortune, but all the dead are dead alike."
Oh, I didn't say it half as well as that.
She then told me about Narnia, and to such a degree that I had a great wish to be in that country.
In Narnia, no maiden is forced to marry against her will.
Well, of course.
And when we had talked together, I rejoiced that I had not killed myself. Moreover, it was agreed between Win and me that we would steal off together, and we concocted an elaborate plan to do so.
And what was that plan?
I returned to my father's house and pretended to be happy about my marriage to a Hoshta. Then I asked my father's permission to go alone to the woods for 3 days to do the customary secret sacrifices of Zardina, Lady of the Night and of the Maidens, in preparation of marriage. He granted me his permission. I then went to one of the oldest servants, his secretary, who had loved me more than the air and the light. I swore him to be quiet and to write a secret letter for me. He wept and implored me to change my resolution, but in the end he did what I asked.
Well, what was in the letter?
If you'll be quiet, I'll tell you in due time. Then I called the maid who was to go with me and told her to wake me very early in the morning. Then I became merry with her and gave her wine to drink, but I had mixed such things in a cup that I knew she must sleep for a night and a day. Then, as soon as the household of my father had committed themselves to sleep, I arose and put on an armor of my brother's. I put into my girdle all the money I had and certain choice jewels, and provided myself also with food and water, and saddled my mare and rode away in the night. I directed my course north and east to Tashban.
How very clever. So your father and his household would believe that you were off for 3 days and performing these rituals, and they wouldn't follow you until that time had passed.
Precisely.
What happened to the girl? The one you had drugged?
Doubtless she was beaten for sleeping late or something, but she was a spy of my stepmother's, and I'm very glad that she beat her.
That's hardly fair.
I did not do any of this to please you. On the 4th day, we arrived at a large city, from which the letters of the Tisraq, may he live forever, are taken from messengers on swift horses to every part of the empire. I then posted a letter to my father, the same letter which my father's secretary secretly composed, a letter which feigned to be written by Hoshta.
Another ruse.
In the letter, a Hoshta explains to my father how on his journey to Calabar for a wedding, he discovered me in the woods performing the rites and sacrifices, and being delighted with my beauty and discretion, he decided to marry me at once. The letter then bids my father to go immediately to the house of a Hoshta to celebrate and to pay my dowry.
Perfectly clever.
Whereupon, before the matter can be discovered, I shall be beyond Tashban, and that's the pith of my story.
A remarkable story.
Yes, remarkable. Why don't we turn in if we're going to continue our journey in the morning?
They were getting nearer to Tashban. There were more and larger villages and more people on the roads. They now did nearly all their traveling by night and would sleep the best they could during the day. And at every halt, they argued and argued about what they were to do once they got to Tashban. Finally, they had to decide on a plan.
The first thing we must decide on is a place to meet once we are through Tashban.
Where do you suggest?
Perhaps the tombs of the ancient kings. It's on the edge of the city, on the edge of the desert as well, and the best part is, the Clawmans will go nowhere near it. They believe it's haunted by ghouls.
Oh, it isn't really haunted, is it?
Frankly, I'm a free Narnian and don't believe in such wives' tales.
I don't care a straw about these old stories about ghouls either.
I'm not bothered.
Then the tombs it will be.
I hope you don't mind me mentioning something.
Please do.
Well, it seems to me that the real problem isn't where we're going to meet if we get separated going through Tashbaan, but how we're going to get through it at all. I must confess that I believe the safest thing to do would be to go right through the middle of the city itself, gate to gate. That way we won't be as easily noticed in the crowd. And we ought to wear disguises. The children can dress up in rags and act as slaves, and all of Erebus's armor and our supplies can be made into bundles and put on our backs. The children could pretend to drive us, and we could only be pack horses.
Oh, my dear Wayne, as if anyone can mistake Bree for anything but a warhorse, however you disguised him.
I should think not.
Well, I know it's not a very good plan, but I believe it's our only chance. We haven't been groomed in ages, and we're not looking quite ourselves.
True.
I do believe that if we get plastered with mud and go along with our heads hung as if we're tired and lazy and lift our hooves hardly at all, we might slip by unnoticed. And we ought to have our tails cut. Not neatly, you know, but all ragged.
Oh. Have you pictured yourself how perfectly disagreeable it would be to arrive in Narnia in that fashion?
Well, the main thing is to get there.
I think it is the most sensible thing anyone has come up with so far.
It will require a certain amount of raiding.
You mean stealing?
Ropes and sacks and the like will be required of certain local farmhouses.
Oh, I'll need some tattered old clothes, and oh, we can use my sword to cut your tails.
I don't much like the idea, but it's the only one we've got. Let's get on with it then.
We're approaching the city now.
Now remember, keep together best we can. If not, meet at the tombs of the ancient kings. First one there, wait for the others.
And don't you two horses forget yourselves and start talking.
To Narnia and the north.
What's that?
That's the horn for the city gate to be opened.
Aravis, do droop your shoulders a bit more and step heavier, and try to imagine you've been kicked and shoved and called nasty names your whole life. Try to act a bit less like a princess.
Well, if it comes to that, what about you drooping your head a bit more and arching your neck a bit less and trying to look less like a warhorse?
Hush now, here we are.
What's wrong, Aravis? You have an odd look on your face.
It's all very well for you. What can you think about Tashbaan? But I ought to be riding in on a litter with soldiers before me and slaves behind, not sneaking in like this. It's different for you.
That's very silly.
All those soldiers would jump to attention and salute me if they knew whose daughter I was.
Well, be quiet. You'll give us away. What is this place? 1 minute we're in a marketplace, and the next we're, well, here.
We're very near the palace of the Chisrock, may he live forever, and there's many dignitaries around here.
It's too crowded. I can barely move.
Oh, be patient.
The barbarian king, the guest of the Chisrock, may live, brother, may live, for the Narnian Lord.
Narnia? Did he say
Step
Narnia?
back, you're in the way.
I can't breathe. Back up.
Shasta!
I've lost all breath.
Get out of the way and stand still.
I'm trying.
Look! There he is. There's our runaway.
Me?
Shame on you, my lord. Fight for shame.
Well, I'll be bound. There you are.
Queen Susan's eyes are red with weeping because of you.
Sure it for a whole night. Where have you been?
Bree?
Take one of your lordship's hands in good courtesy, and I shall take the other.
Come along, my lord.
And now what? Queen Susan's mind will be greatly eased when she sees our young rascal safe in our lodging.
How hast thou escaped from us, and where hast thou been? What has become of thy clothes?
Thou have been very naughty indeed. Have you nothing to say? I must tell you that to run away might pass for a boy's frolic with some spirit in it. But I, king's son of Ark and land, should avouch his deed, not hang his head like a Calorman slave.
Still, he does not speak. Perhaps he will in our private chambers. Come.
Indeed we have, fair sister.
Oh, and how could you? And you and I are such good friends ever since your mother died. Oh, I would have told your royal father if I had come home without you. It would have been cause almost all between Ottoland and Nadia, which had been friends of time out of mind. It was naughty, very naughty of you to use us so. Where have you been?
I don't know.
There it is. I could get no tale out of him, true or false.
Your Majesties, Queen Susan, King Edmund, Your Majesties, His Little Highness has a touch of the sun. I look at him. He's dazed. He doesn't know where he is.
Of course.
Oh, do forgive us, Corin. Come lie down on these cushions.
Please bring him a cold drink.
Lie still and keep very quiet now. There, that's much better.
A drink for the prince.
Here, Corin, drink slowly.
Thank you.
Good.
So, what think you, madam?
About?
We have been here fully 3 weeks. Have you yet settled in your mind whether you will marry this suitor of yours, this Prince Rapidash?
No, not for all the jewels in Tosh Bomb.
Truly, sister, I should have loved you the less if you'd have taken it. And I tell you, at the first comings of the ambassadors of the Tidrock to speak of this marriage, and when the prince was our guest at Cairfaravel, it was a wonder to me you could ever find it in your heart to show him so much favor.
That was my folly, Edmund, for which I cry you mercy. Yet, when the prince was with us in Narnia, truly he bore himself in a different fashion than he does here in Tashbaan. For I take you all to witness what marvelous feats he did in that great tournament, and how meekly and courteously he consulted with us in that space of 7 days. But here in his own city, he has shown another face.
Yes, it's an old saying. See the Baron's own dim before you judge of his condition.
We have now seen him for what he truly is, a most proud, bloody, luxurious, cruel, and self-pleasing tyrant.
Then in the name of Aslan, let us leave Tashbaan this very day.
There it is, sister. And now, I must tell you all that has been growing in my mind the last 2 days and more. Mr. Tumnus, of your courtesy, please check to the door and see that there is no spy upon us.
Yes, Your Majesty. All is well.
Salopad, draw me. I am in need of your counsel.
Yes, Your Highness.
What is it, Edmund? There's something dreadful in your face.
My dear sister and very good lady, you must now show your courage, for I tell you, we are in no small danger.
What is it, Edmund?
While the prince had hoped you would take him, we were honored guests. But, by the lion's mane, I think as soon as he has your flat denial, we shall be no better than prisoners.
I warned you, your majesties, I warned you. Easily in, but not easily out, said the lobster cut in the lobster pot.
I've been with the prince this morning. He is little used to having his work crossed, and is very chafed with your long delays and doubtful answers. This morning, he pressed very hard to know your mind. I put it aside, meaning at the same time to diminish all his hopes with some common jest about women's fancies. And I knew to the suit was likely to grow cold. He grew angry and dangerous. There was a sort of threatening, though still veiled, under a show of courtesy with every word he spoke.
And when I spoke with the Grand Visor last night, it was the same. He asked me how he liked Tashbaan, and I couldn't tell him. I hated every stone of it and wouldn't lie. I told him that now when high summer was coming on, my heart turned to the cool woods and dewy slopes of Narnia. He gave me a smile that meant no good and said, "There's nothing to hinder you from dancing there again, little goatfoot. Always provided you leave us in exchange a bride for our prince."
You mean he would make me his wife by force?
That's my fear. Wife or slave, which is worse.
But how can he? Does the Tisroc think that our brother, the High King, would suffer such an outrage?
Sire, they would not be so mad. Do they think there are no swords and spears in Narnia?
Alas, my guess is that the Tisroc have very small fear of Narnia. He longs to blot us out, gobble us up. At first, when he suffered the prince to come to care Parabella, dear suitor sister, it may be that he was only suiting an occasion against us. My guess is that the Tisroc shall make one mouthful out of Narnia and Arkenland both.
Let him try. At sea, we are as big as he is, and if he assaults us by land, he has the desert to cross.
True, friend, but is the desert a true defense?
I know the desert well, and this is certain. If the Tisroc leads the army across by the great oasis, he will never make it. But there is another way. Starting from the tombs of the ancient kings and riding northwest so that the double peak of Mount Pyre is always straight ahead, in a day's riding or little more, the traveler shall come to a head of a stony valley, which is so narrow that a man might be within a furlong of it 1,000 times and never know it was there. But if he rides on down it, he will come to a river, and he can cross it and ride all the way to Arkenland.
The Colomans know of this western way.
Friends, what is the use of this discourse? We are not asking whether Narnia or Calormen would win if war arose between them. We are asking how to save the honor of the Queen and our own lives out of the city. Though our brother Peter the High King should beat the Tisroc a dozen times over, yet long before that our throats would be cut, and Queen Susan would be the wife, or more likely the slave, of this prince.
I am the cause of all this. If only I had never left Parabella.
Courage, courage. But, what is the matter with you, Mr. Tumnus?
Oh, don't speak to me, don't speak. I'm thinking so hard I can hardly breathe. Oh, wait, do wait. Only difficulty is how to get down to our ship today with some supplies too, without being seen and stopped.
Yes, just as the beggar's difficulty is about riding, is that he has no horse.
Wait. All we need is some pretext for going down to our ship today and taking stuff on board.
Yes.
Well then, how would it be if your majesties invited the prince to a great banquet to be held on board our own galleon tomorrow night, and let the message be worded as graciously as the queen can contrive without pledging her honor, so as to give the prince the hope that she is weakening? You see, then everyone will be expecting us to go down to the ship all day, making preparations for our guests, and let some of us go to the bazaars and spend every penny we have at the fruiteers and sweetmeat sellers and the wine merchants, just as we would if we were really giving a feast. And there's sort of magicians and jugglers and flute players all to be on board tomorrow night.
I see.
And then we'll all be on board tonight, and as soon as it's quite dark,
Up sails and out oars.
And our nose northward.
Master Thomas, you've saved us all.
oh, though the prince will chase us.
That is the least of my fears. I've seen all the shipping he has in the river. There is no tall ship of war, no swift galley there. I wish he may chase us, for our beautiful splendor Lady would sink anything he has to send after us, if we were overtaken at all.
Now, as we birds say, nest before eggs, which is as much as to say, let us take our food and then be about our business.
Oh, little prince, you lie there and I'll bring you up a little feast in a few moments. There's no need for you to bid until we're all ready to embark.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is perfectly dreadful. What am I to do? I simply daren't tell them I'm not Prince Corin now. Now, they never let me out of the house alive. And if the real Prince Corin does turn up, then it'll all come out and they'll kill me. What am I to do?
Are you ready for your meal, Your Highness?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you haven't lost your appetite, whatever may be wrong with you.
I've never had anything like it.
Oh, you don't remember. You must still be suffering from sunstroke. I do hope you'll get to your wits about you soon. When you return, you're to get your first suit of armor and your first war horse for your birthday. Oh, think of it. In a few years, if all goes well, High King Peter has promised your father that he himself will make you a knight at Cair-Paravel.
A knight?
Yes. Oh, and it wouldn't do any harm to have a little sleep now that you've eaten. I plan on plenty of time to get on board and then home.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Maybe the real Prince Corin won't turn up. That wouldn't be so bad. Getting a horse, becoming a knight. Erebus didn't want me to go with them anyway. They'll wait at the tombs and then give up on me and go on. We'll see how high and mighty Erebus is when she finds out to become a prince.
I say, who are you?
Are you Prince Corin?
Yes, of course, but who are you?
I'm nobody. Nobody in particular, I mean.
What are you doing here?
King Edmund caught me in the street and mistook me for you. I suppose we must look like one another. Can I get out the way you got in?
Yes, if you're any good at climbing.
I'd better be going then.
Wait, hang on. Why are you in such a hurry? I say, we ought to be able to get some fun out of this, being mistaken for one another.
No, we must change places at once. It would be simply frightful if Mr. Tumnus comes back and finds us both here. I've had to pretend to be you all this time, and you're leaving tonight secretly.
Huh?
And where were you all this time anyway?
Well, a boy in the street made a beastly joke about Queen Susan, so I knocked him down. He went howling into a house, and then his big brother came out. So I knocked the big brother down. Then they followed me until we ran into 3 old men with spears, who were called the Watch. So I fought the Watch, and they knocked me down. It was getting dark by then, so they took me to lock me up somewhere. I then asked them if they'd like some wine, and they said they didn't mind if they did. So I took them to a wine shop where they all sat down and drank until they fell fast asleep. I thought it was time for me to be off by then, so I slipped out quietly. Then I found the first boy, the one who had started the whole trouble, still hanging about. So I knocked him down again. After that, I climbed up onto the roof of a house and lay quietly until it began to get light out this morning. Ever since then, I've been finding my way back. I said, is there anything to drink?
No, I drank it, but will you please show me how you got in? There's no time. You better lie down on the sofa and pretend that, oh no, it'll be no good with all those bruises and a black eye. You'll just have to tell them the truth once I'm safe away.
Well, what else do you think I'd be telling them? And who are you anyway?
There's no time. I'm a Narnian, I believe. Something northern anyway. I've been brought up in Florman all my life, and I'm escaping across the desert with a talking horse called Bree. And I say, can you please show me how you got in?
Drop from this window onto the roof of the veranda, then along the wall to the corner. Drop onto the rubbish heap you'll find outside, and there you are.
Thanks.
Good luck, and goodbye. I do hope you'll get away safe. I'd like to meet you sometime in Arkenland. Go to my father, King Loon, and tell him you're a friend of mine. Okay, so let's go.
Bye.
Meanwhile, in Tashbaan, Erebus ran into difficulty of her own. After she saw Shasta hurried away by the Narnians, she grabbed Bree's halter. She wasn't sure what to do except to move on to a place where she could think and confer privately with Bree and Quinn. Before they could go far, another parade came through, with servants carrying a litter. This one contained a Tarkina called Lazareline. Erebus and Lazareline had often stayed in the same houses and been to the same parties. Lazareline saw Erebus in the crowd and cried out to her. Without a second's delay, Erebus let go of the horses and leapt up into Lazareline's litter.
Erebus, what on earth are you doing here?
You be quiet, do you hear? You must hide me. Tell your people.
Darling, stop the litter.
Do what I tell you, or I'll never speak to you again. Please do be quick. Tell your people to bring those 2 horses along and pull the litter and curtain and get away somewhere where I can't be found. Do hurry.
All right, darling. Here, you slave, take the Tarkina's horses. And I say, darling, do you think that we really want to go along on a day like this with the curtains drawn? I mean to say.
Yes, we do. I mustn't be seen. My father doesn't know I'm here. I'm running away.
My dear, how perfectly thrilling. I'm dying to hear all about it. But darling, you're sitting on my dress. Do you mind? There, that's better. And do you like it? I got it just the other day.
Oh, Lazareline, do be serious. Where is my father?
Oh, didn't you know? He's here, of course. He came to town yesterday, and he's been asking about you everywhere. Oh, to think of you and me being here together and his not knowing anything about it. Oh, it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It isn't funny at all. It's dreadfully serious. Where can you hide me?
Oh, that's not a problem at all, my dear girl. I'll take you home. My husband's away, so no one will see you. It's not much fun with the curtains drawn. I want to see the people. There's not much use getting a new dress if you're going to go around shut up like this. Servants, take us home.
Oh, and another thing. You must tell your people to treat those 2 horses very respectfully. That's part of the secret. They're really talking horses from Narnia.
Fancy, how exciting. And oh, darling, have you seen the barbarian queen from Narnia? She's staying at Tashbon at present. They say Prince Rapidash is madly in love with her. I can't see she's so very pretty myself, but then you know, dear, some of the Narnia know.
Miss Darling, how are you going to prevent your people from telling everyone you've got a visitor just like a beggar's brat in your house and might so easily get round to my father?
Oh, don't keep on fussing. We'll get you some proper clothes in a moment. And now listen, all of you. And you, doorkeeper. No one is to be let out of the house today. And anyone I catch talking about this young lady will first be beaten to death and then burned alive and then kept on bread and water for 6 weeks. There. So, darling, why are you running away?
You finally asked. It all started like this.
Oh, but why won't you marry
I already
Usha?
told you I can't even stand the sight of him. But I need your help now to get out of the city.
Well, do you have a plan?
I want you to instruct one of your grooms to fill my horse's saddlebags with water and supplies and then take them to the tombs. He is to wait for me there. But what about me? I suppose I could be carried out in the litter with the curtains drawn.
Oh, darling, that would never do. Litters only used inside the city. The sight of one going out of the city gate would lead to questions. Oh, your clothes! Please, why don't you go get changed? Oh, Memphis, I do have one idea. There is one way of getting out of the city without using the city gates. The Tisrock's garden, may he live forever, runs right down to the water, and there's a little water door, only for the palace people, Why should I not slip in with you after dark and let you out by the water door? There's always a few punts and things tied up outside, and even if we put a cart, all would not be lost, because everyone would only say it was another one of my mad jokes. I'm getting quite well known for them. Only the other day, oh, do listen to this, it's frightfully funny. Oh, but what about you? Well, I don't suppose you have a better plan, so we'll have to go with mine. But what? Tonight? Oh, no, we can't leave tonight. There's a great feast on there tonight, and I must start getting my hair done in just a few moments. The whole place will be a blaze of lights, and such a crowd, too. It will have to be tomorrow night. Though I still don't see why you want to go. I've heard the land of perpetual snow and ice, filled with sorcerers. You're simply mad to think of going. And with a peasant boy, too. Think of it, darling. It's just not nice.
The next night, as it was getting dark, Lazareline and Erebus began preparations for their daring plan. Erebus had already gone down to the horses and explained what they were to do and her plan of escape through the water door with Lazareline's help. The horses were obliging, and soon everything was all set. The horses were led away with the groom, their saddlebags full of supplies and water. Erebus herself was wearing the clothes of a superior house servant and was pretending to be a slave of Lazareline's. They finally arrived at the palace, where the guards recognized Lazareline and led her through the gates without asking questions. After that, when it had grown quite dark, they slipped into the Tisrock's old palace.
Lazareline, are you sure you know where we are?
Of course, darling. I'm here all the time, you know.
Well, then which way do we go from here?
I think that it's left. Yes, I know where we are now.
Wait, what was that?
Voices. Voices? Oh, no. Oh, it's the Tisrock and Prince Rapidash. Quick, let's hide in this room.
Oh, my father, may you live forever, but you have destroyed me. If you had given me the swiftest galleys at sunrise when I first saw that the cursed barbarians had gone, I would perhaps have overtaken them. But you had merely persuaded me to send first and not see if they had not moved around the point into better anchorage, and the whole day has been wasted, and they are gone, gone, gone!
Compose yourself, oh my son, for the departure of guests makes a wound that is easily healed in the heart of your judicious host.
But I want her! I must have her! I will die if I do not have her! False, proud daughter of a dog as she is, I must have the barbarian queen, or
what, my son?
I desire to propose on my father that you immediately call out your invincible armies and invade the thrice cursed land in Narnia and waste it with fire and sword, killing the High King and all his blood, except for the Queen Susan, for I must have her as my wife.
Understand, O my son, that no words you can speak to me will move me to open war against Narnia.
If you were not my father, who ever lived in Tisrock, I would say that was the word of a coward.
And if you're not my son, O most inflammable Rapidash, your life would be short and your death slow when you would set it.
But why, O my father, will you not punish Narnia to this offense to me? 1,000 spears can conquer it in 5 weeks.
Most undoubtedly, these little barbarian countries that call themselves free, which is as much to say idle, disordered, and unprofitable, are hateful to all persons of discernment.
Then why have we let a land such as Narnia remain this long unsubdued?
Because it is a land of strong magic. It is inhabited by demons that take in the form of beasts that talk like men, and monsters that are half man and half beast. It is commonly reported that the High King of Narnia is supported by a demon of hideous aspect, an irresistible maleficence who appears in the shape
of a lion. Therefore, the attack of Narnia is a dark and doubtful enterprise, and I am determined not to put my hand out any further than what I can draw it back.
Oh, my father, what if I could show you a way that you could take it, Narnia, and draw your hand back if the attempt seems unfortunate?
If you can show me that, O Rabadesh, you will be the best of sons.
Here then, O father, this very night and this hour, I will take but 200 horse and horsemen. I shall ride across the desert, and it shall seem to all men that you know nothing of my going. On the second morning, we shall be at King Loon's castle at Amber. They are at peace with us and unprepared. I shall take Amber before they know it is happening. And then I will ride above Amber to Narnia, to Cair Paravel. And I will ride and I will exercise prudence and courtesy and spill as little Narnian blood as I can. But then what then remains but to sit there and wait till the splendid her lion sails in with Queen Susan, catch my stray bird and then swing her in the saddle and then ride back to Amber.
But is it not probable, O my son, that at the taking of the woman, either you or Edmund will lose his life?
Oh, they will be a small company, and I shall order 10 of my men to disarm and bind him, being constrained by the vehement desire for his blood, so that there is no deadly cause between you and the High King.
And lastly, O my resourceful son, you have made clear how all this may give you, the barbarian woman, but not how it helps me to the overthrowing of Narnia.
Oh, my father, has it ever escaped to you, though me and my horsemen shall go through Narnia as an arrow through a bow? But you shall hold Ambar forever, and when you sit in the very gates, when you hold Ambar, you sit in the very gates of Narnia, and your garrisons in Ambar can be increasing by a little and little until it is a great host.
Oh, dreadful! How perfectly dreadful! Oh, darling, what is taking all over?
Quick, we've got to get to the Watergate, quicker than ever now.
Oh, how can you? You're so unsympathetic, my poor nerves. We must go back.
Look here, if you say another word about going back, I'll go into that passageway and scream.
But they'd find us and kill us.
Exactly. Now please take me to the Watergate.
All right, darling, but you are unkind.
Goodbye.
Oh, Ericus, won't you change your mind?
No, especially now that I've seen the Tisroc and the Prince for what they are.
Oh, please don't speak against the Tisroc. Maybe the feather like that.
Goodbye, Lizaraine. I thought your dress was lovely, and I think your house is lovely. And I'm sure you have a lovely life, though it wouldn't suit me. Close the door softly behind me.
Goodbye, you poor misguided girl.
Having finally made it through the city, the four converge at the tombs of the ancient kings.
Oh, Wen, Bree, it worked, it worked.
Thanks be to the lion, it did.
And here comes Shasta.
Well, I say, this is quite a reunion. How did you go from being 2 pack horses and a peasant to this?
There's no time to explain now. I've learned that Prince Rabbadash is mounting an expedition of 200 men and their horses to cross the desert and attack the city of Angard, and then Arkenland, and then Narnia itself.
Treacherous dog to attack in times of peace.
Why would they attack now?
Because the Narnian queen rejected the prince's suit of marriage, and then they slipped away in the ship.
Oh, so Susan, Edmund, and Corin got away, say? Oh, good.
You know about it.
I heard their plans during the confusion when they thought I was Prince Corin.
They truly thought you were a prince.
Yes, me and Prince Corin resemble one another, if only a little, I suppose.
There's no time to lose.
Don't you worry, Tarkina. We'll grease the prince's oats for him. We'll get there before he will.
Will we?
Can we?
Can we? And with a good start, too. What's our direction? Due north?
No, I know about it from the Talking Raven.
A talking raven?
He was with the Narnians. Look a little to the left and west. Do you see those those mountains on the far side of the desert?
Hardly. It's growing so dark.
Keep trying.
I see it.
Oh, yes, so do I.
Yes.
Do you see the one blue height that divides into two peaks? That's Mount Pyre. That's our direction, judging by what the raven said.
Right. But let's get one thing straight. All of that nonsense about galloping for a day and a night, it can't be done. We'll just do brisk trots and short walks, and whenever we horses walk, you humans will slip off and walk as well. Are you ready, Wynne?
Ready?
Then to Narnia and the North.
Narnia and the North.
At first, their journey was delightful. Except for the noise of Bree and Wynn's hooves, there was not a sound to be heard. Shasta would nearly have fallen asleep if he had not had to dismount and walk every few moments. On and on they would walk and trot and walk again. A new day dawned, but they continued on, all through the hot, hot desert. The smell of hot horse, the smell of hot self, the blinding glare, a headache, till at last their shadows began to fall on their right and then got longer and longer. Very slowly the sun got nearer to the western horizon, and now at last it was down. The merciless glare was gone. 4 pairs of eyes continued to look out for any sign of the valley that Shasta had described. But mile after mile of level sand, and now the day was quite definitely done, and most of the stars were out. And still the horses pushed on, and the children were miserable with thirst and weariness. Not until the moon had risen did Shasta shout out,
There it is!
Oh,
I could stay here forever.
We mustn't get too comfortable. We're just having a brief rest and something to eat and drink.
yes, we mustn't go to sleep. We've got to keep ahead of that rapidash.
Yes, just a little rest.
Oh, where am I? Oh no, we've slept for hours. This is awful. Wake up, everyone.
Oh no, Tarkina. We're still miles ahead of that young rapidash.
No, we must have started Shasta.
Yes, we must.
Oh, they're so sleepy.
It must be nearly 11 o'clock by now. Please, let's get going.
All right, we'll just take it a bit easier then.
Look, straight ahead, a path.
Oh,
Ah, yes, the true green north. Friends, we are in Arkenland.
oh, isn't it simply gorgeous?
Yes, but I hope we're in time.
Hello, what's that?
What's what?
Back in the desert. Looks like smoke. Is it a fire?
Ah, sandstorm, I'd say.
But there's not much wind to raise it.
Oh, look at those little flashing things in there. What are they?
Those would be helmets and armor.
By Tash, it's the army! Oh no! It's Prince Rapidash is coming this way!
Both horses had been running all they could, or all they thought they could, which as it turns out can be quite a big difference. They were racing along neck and neck when suddenly they heard a roar behind them, completely altering their feelings. Now both horses put on another burst of speed as Bree discovered that he had not really been going fast, or not as fast as he truly could. Shasta could feel the change at once. Now he and Bree were giving it everything. In a few seconds, they were well ahead of Wynne.
Wait, Bree, we've got to go help Wynne.
Welcome, my son. I am the hermitess of the Southern March. But now, waste no time on questions, but obey. This damsel has been wounded by the lion, and your horses are spent. But Rapidash is at this moment finding a ford across the river. If you run now, without a moment's rest, you will still be in time to warn King Loon.
Run? Now?
Yes.
But where is King Loon?
Look through the courtyard. There is a northern gate. Open it and go straight ahead, always straight ahead, over level or steep, smooth or rough, wet or dry. I know by my art that you will find King Loon straight ahead. But run, run, always run.
Right. Run. Run. Always run.
People, at last. Corin, my son, on foot and in rags? What?
No, I'm not Prince Corin. I know him like him. I saw His Highness in Tashbaan. He sends his greetings.
Why, this is most extraordinary.
Yes. Are you King Loon?
I am.
Your king. Your king. Your king, you must fly to Anbar this very moment and shut the gates. Your enemies are upon you. Prince Ravidas and an army of 200 horsemen.
Have you assurance of this, boy?
Yes, mine own eyes. I've seen them. I raced them all the way from Tashbaan.
Then I will question you no more. We must ride for it. I will give you a spare horse and we will ride all the way to Anbar.
King Loon gave Shasta a horse, but it was a dumb horse, and Shasta was soon left behind. The horse then bucked him and ran away. Shasta wandered through the forest miserably, getting more tired, dejected, and lost every minute. He knew not where to go, and just when he was losing hope, he heard a noise.
What's that? Who's there? I know you're there somewhere. Who are you?
One who has waited long for you.
I can't see you at all. Are you a mountain giant?
You might call me a giant, but I'm not like the creatures you call giants.
You're not a ghoul, are you? Please do go away. What harm have I done to you? I'm the luckiest boy in the whole world.
Tell me your sorrows.
What?
You believe you're unfortunate. Why?
Why shouldn't I? If only you knew what my life had been like.
Tell me.
Well, I'm no better than an orphan. I've never known my real mother or father, and I've been brought up by a cruel fisherman all my life. And then I was able to escape, but what for? To be chased by lions and to be mistaken for someone else in Tashbaan? And right when we were about to reach our goal, we met another lion who wounded poor Erebus.
I do not.
And now I'm lost and miserable.
I do not call you unfortunate.
Don't you?
No.
But what about all my troubles? If nothing else, it was unlucky to meet so many lions.
Oh.
I met at least 4.
Oh?
Maybe more.
You met only one lion.
What on earth do you mean? I just told you. We met at least 2 the first night.
There was only one, but he was swift of foot.
How do you know?
I was the lion.
What?
I was the lion who forced you to join with Erebus. I was the lion who gave the horses the new strength of fear for the last mile so that you should reach King Loon in time. And I was the lion you do not remember who pushed the boat in which you lay, a child near death, so that it came to shore where a man sat wakeful at midnight to receive you.
But you also wounded Erebus?
It was I.
But what for?
Child, I am telling you your story, not hers. I tell no one's story but his own.
Who are you?
Myself, myself, myself.
Was it all a dream? But no, the lion's footprints are there in the grass. But where did he go? And more to the point, where am I? Oh, I see. Those are the mountains between Arkenland and Narnia. I was on the other side of them just yesterday. And now I'm in Narnia. What luck did I hit it? No, it wasn't luck, was it? It was him. I think I'll go lower down in the valley and see if I can find food.
Good morning, neighbor.
Good morning, but I'm not your neighbor. In fact, I'm a stranger in these parts. I've come from over the mountains, from Arkenland.
That's quite a long way.
Yes, but someone ought to be told there's an army of savage Pelormans attacking Angard at this very moment.
Is that so? News must be sent to Caraparavelle at once. Sister, you come here. News must be sent to the High King at Caraparavelle. But the High King isn't there. He's off fighting giants. But Queen Lucy would be there. Can you go carry the message? I'll go. What's the message?
200 horsemen under Prince Rabidesh.
Let's go. No time to lose.
But no, there's more.
What's wrong with the hooing? You're looking kind of green. When did you last have a meal?
Yesterday morning.
Oh, I have to be ashamed of myself. I was just sitting down for breakfast. Come on, lad, make yourself at home.
The dwarf made it in good time to deliver the message to Caraparavelle. Meanwhile, Shasta rested at the dwarf's cottage. Only a few hours later, the Narnian army arrived, ready to join the battle at Anvard.
Trumpets, look there, it's the Narnian army.
That's King Edmund and Queen Susan, but I don't know the lady riding beside him.
That's Queen Lucy, and that boy on the pony looks exactly like you, youngster.
That's Prince Corin.
And now, friends, time for a halt and morsel.
They're stopping.
Oh, I say, it's you.
Hello.
So you got through all right. I am glad. Now we shall have some sport. And isn't it luck? We only got into harbor at Caraparavelle yesterday morning. And the very first person to meet us was a dwarf, with all this news of an attack on Anvard. Well, don't you think that this
Who is your highness's friend?
Don't you see, sire? It's my double. The boy you mistook for me at Tashbaan.
Why, so he is your double. They're as much alike as two twins. This is a marvelous thing.
It certainly is, Queen Lucy. We were certainly fooled by him at Tashbaan.
Oh, your majesty, I wasn't a traitor. Really, I wasn't. I couldn't help but hear your plans during the confusion, but I never would have told your enemies.
I know now that you are no traitor, boy, but if you are not to be taken by one, try not to hear what's meant for others' ears. Nonetheless, all is well.
King Edmund, I am told that though I am allowed to ride to my father's castle at Anvard, he will not allow me to fight.
That is true. I solemnly charge that you shall not fight. But keep your pony by our faithful soldier and dwarf Thornbow. And if you dare disobey him, he shall bind you to himself.
What? Like a prisoner? I'll knock this dwarf down if he tries to bind me.
I'd like to see you try. Ha ha ha.
No one doubts your courage, but a boy in battle is only danger to his own side.
Sire, the castle request we come at once. We must plan an advance on Anvard.
Yes. And Corin, do stay out of trouble, if only for a moment.
Come on, Shasta. Sneak with the soldiers at the end of the line.
My back is sore, but the hermit just said I could get up. Good morning, Bree. Is Bree well?
Oh, I wish you'd talk to him. There's something wrong, but I can't get a word out of him.
Well, let's go see. Good morning, Bree. How are you this morning? The hermit just said that Shasta probably got to King Moon in time, so it looks as if all our troubles are over. Narnia at last.
I shall never see Narnia.
What? Never see Narnia?
I shall go back to Cologne.
What? Back to slavery?
Slavery is all I'm fit for. I, who left a girl and a boy and a mare to be eaten by lions.
We all ran as fast as we could.
Yes.
Shasta didn't. At least he ran in the proper direction. He ran back. And that is what shames me most of all. I, a mighty war horse, who boasted of 1,000 wars, was beaten by a young human boy.
I know, I felt just the same. Shasta, he was marvelous. I'm just as bad as you, Bree. I've been snubbing him and looking down on him ever since we met, and now he turns out to be the best of us all. But I think that it would be best to stay and say we're sorry than to go back to Kilorman.
It's all very well for you. You haven't disgraced yourself, Aravis. I lost everything.
Have you, my friend?
Yeah.
Oh, my good horse. You've lost nothing but your self-conceit.
What?
No, no. If you're really as humble as you made yourself sound a minute ago, you must learn to listen to sense. You're not quite the great horse you come to think of yourself as, living among the dung Kilorman horses. Of course you were more brave and more clever than them. You can hardly help that. It doesn't follow you will be anyone very special in Narnia. But as long as you know you're no one very special, you'll be a very decent sort of horse. On the whole, that is. And now, if you and my other four-footed friend will come round to the kitchen door, we'll see about some mash.
What are you doing, Hermitus, looking in that pool?
By my art, I can see things far away by simply gazing into my pool.
What do you see now?
I see 1, 2, 3 eagles wheeling by Stormny's head. One is the oldest of all the eagles. He would not be out unless battle was at hand. I see now what Rabidash and his men have been busy at all day long. They felled an enormous tree and are carrying it out of the woods as a battle ram. It would have been wiser if he had set his men to making ladders, but it takes too long. He is impatient, fool that he is. Now they're bringing their ram into position, and King Loon and his men are shooting down hard from the walls. 5 Kilormans have fallen, but not many will. They have the shields above their heads.
My old master is probably down there.
Quiet, Bree. Now this ram has started stroke after stroke, and no gate can stand that forever. But wait, something up by Stormness has scared the birds.
What is it?
The whole ridge up from the east is black with horsemen. Oh, I wish the wind would catch the flag and spread it out. Oh, I see it. It's the Red Lion. Yes, it's Narnia.
They made it in time.
Yes, I can see King Edmund, and there's a woman behind him with the archers. Of course, it's Queen Lucy. Oh.
What is it?
His cats are dashing out from the left of the line.
Cats?
Great cats, leopards and panthers and such. And they're coming round in a circle to round up the horses of the fallen men. It's a good stroke. The horses are mad with fright already. The cats are in among them now, but Rabadash has reformed his line and has 100 men in the saddle. They're riding to meet the Narnians now. Oh, there's only 100 yards between the two lines now. Only 50. Wait, there are 2 mere children in the Narnians.
What, children in battle?
I don't know what the kings were thinking. Only 10 yards, the lines have met.
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, the giants in the Narnian lines are doing wonders. Oh, but one's down. The centaurs are all in a muddle. There are the 2 boys again. It's Prince Corin, and the other is as much alike as 2 peas. It's your Shasta.
It can't be.
Corin is fighting like a man. He's killed a Kalorman. Rabadash and Edmund have almost met. Oh no, now they're separated again.
But what about Shasta? What's happened to Shasta?
Poor, brave little child. He knows nothing of battle. And he's making no use at all of his shield. His whole side's exposed, and he hasn't the faintest idea of how to use a sword. He's waving it wildly about. It's knocked out of his hand now. It's mere murder sending a child into battle. He can't live for 5 minutes. Doug before... Oh, no. He's down.
Oh, he isn't killed?
How can I tell?
Oh, I wish I could see what you're seeing.
Oh, good. The gates of the castle are opening from the inside. That means there's going to be a sortie. The first 3 are out. It's King Loon in the middle and brothers Dar and Darin on either side of him. There are 10, 20, nearly 30 of them out now. The Kalorman line has been forced back. The Narnians are upon them. Oh, King Edward is dealing marvelous strokes. Lots of Kalormans have thrown down their arms and are running for the woods. And the ones that are left are hard pressed. The giants are closing down on the right, cats on the left, King Loon from the rear. The Kalormans are a little knot now. They're fighting really hard. Oh, I see a Tarkan with a crimson beard.
Ha, by the lion's mane, that's my old Tarkan.
Well, he's dead. Your old master's dead. King Loon is fighting with someone hand to hand. The king looks like he's winning. Yes, the other is down. Oh, no. King Edmund is down. No, he's up again, and he's taking on Prince Rabadash. They're fighting in the very gate of the castle. Lots of Kalormans are beginning to surrender, and I can't see what's happening to Rabadash. I think that he's dead, leaning against the castle wall, but I'm not sure. King Loon is now fighting with one of the last, and everyone... It's over! The Kalormans are defeated! The battle is over!
Lion be praised.
Yes, now King Loon and King Edmund are shaking hands, and the rest of the people are cheering and laughing wildly, and they're pointing at something. I see, it's Rabadash. He's furious, his face is crimson. He's hanging from the wall like a piece of washing hung up to dry. How humiliating.
Serves it right.
I wonder how he got up there.
I'm not sure. The Narnians are helping him down now. I see. His chainmail got caught on a hook on the wall. Now he's been bound and they're leading him into the castle.
But, what about Shasta? What's happened to Shasta?
Oh, I see him. He's picked himself up and looks slightly dazed. And now Prince Corin is running over to him, and now he's leading him across the field to the castle gate. Ah, what a battle. But wait, it appears that the people are cheering for Shasta.
They're cheering for Shasta?
Well, it does appear so, but since I cannot hear, I can't imagine why. This is of no interest to me now. I'll go inside and prepare supper. Do as you please. Why children would be sent into battle, I cannot understand.
Well, the Hermitage has been more than generous to us, and I'm very much obliged, I'm sure, but I'm getting as fat as a pet pony, eating all day and getting no exercise. Let's go on to Narnia.
I agree, let's go.
You mean now? Well, now would be much too soon, don't you think?
No, we must see Shasta again, to apologize to him at least.
And why not start at once? I thought it was Narnia we all wanted to get to.
Well, of course, but there's no need to rush things, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, you see, ma'am, it's an important occasion, re-entering society. The best society, mind you. And it's important to make a good impression, and we're not exactly looking ourselves yet.
It's your tail, Bree! I see it all now! You want to wait till it's grown again. I'm not even sure if tails will want long in Narnia.
It looks ridiculous.
Really, Bree, you are as vain as that Tarkino and Trashball.
You are silly, Bree.
I am nothing of the sort. I just have a proper respect for myself, that's all. By the lion's mane,
Wait, Bree,
Tarkino.
I have no interest in the cut of your tail, but I've been wanting to ask you something for a long time. Why do you keep swearing by the lion and by the lion's mane? I thought you hated lions.
So I do, but when I speak of the lion, I'm obviously speaking of the great lion Aslan, who drove away the witch in the winter, the deliverer of Narnia. All Narnians swear by him.
But is he really a lion?
No, of course not.
All the stories about him in Tashbaan say he is. And if he isn't a lion, why do you call him a lion?
Well, you probably not understand that at your age. I was only a foal at the time. You see, when they refer to him as a lion, I'm sure they only mean to imply that he's as brave as a lion, or to our enemies as fierce as a lion.
Bree,
something of that sort.
Oh, Bree.
Do stand still when I'm talking to you, Aramis. You see, there's nothing so perfectly ridiculous as to assume that he is in fact a real lion. I mean, you could even say it would be disrespectful.
What should we do, Ron? No, he's much too close by now.
Ron, don't be rude. I'm merely trying to explain that if he were a real lion, he would have to have 4 paws and a tail and whiskers.
Bree, there's a lion right behind you.
I get it. It's a little player joke on Bree Day, is it?
It's hot. It is easy to see in the snow. Where are you going? Great lion, if you must eat one of us, you may eat me, if you like. I'd sooner be eaten by you than fed by anyone else.
Dearest daughter, I knew you would not be long in coming. Joy shall be yours. Now, Bree, you poor, frightened horse, draw near.
Yes, sir.
Nearer still, my son. Do not dare not to dare. Touch me. Smell me. Here are my paws. I give you my tail. Here are my whiskers. I am a true beast.
Aslan. I'm afraid I must be rather a fool.
Happy the horse who knows that while he is young. Draw, Aramis, draw near. My paws are velveted. You will not be torn this time.
This time, sir?
It was I who wounded you. I am the only lion you met in all your journey. Do you know why I tore you?
No, sir.
The scratches on your back. Tear for tear. Throb for throb. Blood for blood. Were equal to the stripes you put on your stepmother's slave because of the drug sleep you cast upon her. You needed to know how it felt like.
Yes, sir, but, please.
Ask on.
Will any more harm come to her by what I did?
Child, I am telling you your story, not hers. I tell no one's story but their own. Be merry, little one. We shall meet again. But before that, you will have another visitor.
But but now we must wait for the visitor, that our son spoke about.
A royal trumpet? How odd.
Open up in the name of the king.
Who's there?
His Royal Highness, Prince Cor of Arkanan, desires an audience with Lady Aravis.
With me? Wait until I open the gate. There. Come in. Come in.
His Royal Highness, Prince Cor of Arkanan.
Why, it's Shasta!
I'm afraid it is. Where are Bree and when?
They're in the stable. I'll go and get them for you.
Thank you. Look here, Aravis. I do hope you won't think I'm all dressed up to try and impress you or make out that I'm different or any rot of that sort, because I'd rather come in my old clothes, but they're burned now, and my father said...
Wait, your father?
Apparently King Loon is my father.
Oh.
I might have guessed it, really, Corin being so like me. We're twins, and, oh, my name isn't Shasta, it's Cor.
Oh, Cor?
Brothers' names run like that in Narnia. Cor, Corin, Dar, Darin, Caw, Colin, and so on.
Oh, Cor's a nicer name than Shasta.
I suppose it is.
Well, how did King Loon find out who you were?
Well, about a week after we were born, my father took us to a wise old centaur in Narnia to be blessed or something. Now this centaur looked at me and said, "A day will come when this boy shall save Arkanan from the deadliest danger in which she ever lay." So my father and mother were very pleased, but there was someone present who wasn't, a chap called Lord Barr. He was not only a Lord Chancellor, but an embezzler and a spy for the Tigre. Now this Lord Barr succeeded in kidnapping me, but my father got wind of the scheme and set chase. There was a battle and Lord Barr was killed, but I was nowhere to be found. Apparently he entrusted me to one of his knights and sent us both away in a boat. This boat was never to be seen again, except by our sheesh, who discovered it after Aslan pushed it to shore.
Oh, and the knight?
He must have starved himself to keep me alive.
Oh, this prophecy from the centaur has been fulfilled now, of course, by your warning.
Everyone seems to think so.
Cor, don't you feel proud?
I think I feel a bit scared.
Cor. Oh, bother, there's something I've got to say at once. I'm sorry I've been such a pig, but I did change before I knew you were a prince. Honestly, I did. When you went back and faced the lion.
That lion really wasn't going to kill you.
I know.
You know about him?
Yes, we met, but your hand is bandaged. Is that a wound from the battle?
No, it's a mere scratch. If you want to know the truth, it's not a proper wound at all. I just took the skin off my knuckles as any clumsy fool might do without even going near a battle.
Still, you were in the battle. Oh, but I suppose you'll be living in Anbod now.
Oh, I nearly forgot what I came about. Father wants you to come live with us in Anbod. Oh, do, Aravis. You'll like Father and Corin. They're not like me. They've been properly brought up. And you needn't be afraid.
Oh, stop it, or have a real fight. Of course I'll come.
Here are the horses, sire.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome, my son.
Well, look at you.
Prince Shasta, is it?
Cor, actually. I've come to take Aravis back to Anbod.
Ah, well then, in that case, would you like a ride?
No, we couldn't do that. You see, except in war, where everyone must do what he can do best. No one in Narnia or Arkanan would ever dream of riding a talking horse.
No, I have much to learn upon my return to Narnia.
Buck up, Bree. It's far worse for me than you. I'm going to be learning reading and writing and heraldry and dancing and history and music, while you're galloping and rolling on the hills of Narnia to your heart's content.
That's just the thing. Do talking Narnian horses roll? Supposing they don't. I can't bear to give it up. I can't. What do you think, Quinn?
Well, I'm going to roll anyway. I don't suppose any one of them will care 2 lumps of sugar whether I roll or not.
Well then, if you don't want to ride to Anvard, is this goodbye?
No. I'd like you to come with us, if you'd like. You can stay at Anvard and then go on to Narnia from there.
Splendid.
I'd be happy to come.
Bree?
It's perfectly marvelous. Lead on, Prince Cor, to Narnia and the north.
Narnia and the north.
It would be nice to end the story by saying that after that, the two brothers Cor and Corin never disagreed about anything. I'm afraid it would not be true. In reality, they quarreled and fought just about as often as any other two boys would, and all their fights ended in Cor getting knocked down. Erebus and Cor also had many quarrels, but they always made it up again, so that years later, when they were grown up, they were so used to quarreling and making it up again that they got married so as to go on doing it more conveniently. And after King Lune's death, they made a good king and queen of Archenland. Bree and Hwin lived happily to a great age in Narnia, and both got married, though not to one another. And there weren't many months in which one or both of them didn't come trotting over the pass to visit their friends in Anvard. As for the great lion, Aslan, well, we'll see about him some other time.